Hi there, this is Paul Thompson from Spitfire Audio. I'm very excited today to be able to present the first collaboration which we've made with Olafur Arnalds, and this is the Evolutions library. And Olafur needs no introduction from me. Many of you will probably be familiar with his BAFTA award-winning score for Broadchurch. He's a true artist, and one of the exciting things about this collaboration is for us to be able to work with him to design an Evo grid which has the kind of essence of his string sound in there. And we're working with two of his regular collaborators, Victor and Sebastian. It's a really unique take on the Evo style. And we have within here 16 categories. And these are separated into subtle, thrills, episodic and dissonance. And I'm going to walk you through. But first of all, if we just go into the individual evolutions, and you can see how these are split up. And we've got Saltasto, long wave, multi-waves, Tasto Ord, Tasto to Pont, Tasto Trems, Tasto Trem, Vari Speed, medium to fast trems, hectoctave trills, vibrato, sol pont, trem, these are the episodic ones, and then the dissonance, we've got a slow pitch bend, pitching episodic, wow effect, and pont octave harmonics. So some really cool stuff in here, and everything within the library. You have the main Evo grid here, and then there are curated presets here, and then we have the individual evolutions here, as we just showed you, and these are per instrument, so each instrument is recorded separately. And then we have the instruments on their own, individual instruments there. We've also got, this is the main mic section, so this is the mix here, there's the close mics here, room valve mic, so it's kind of like not really a distant room sound, more of a kind of the kind of players with air, so almost like a kind of tree, if you imagine that might be, and then a ribbon sound which is slightly more distant, but that's more to do with the characteristics of the mics. Within the warp section we've got the stretch ambient versions in there, so we're in the main mic section at the moment. Let's start by just literally jumping in. I'm going to leave the individual evolutions open, and then we'll have a quick look at some of the sounds in here. So we'll start with the Saltasto, and that sounds like this. So you get the idea, really beautiful, gentle sound, very atmospheric. You've got the usual effects controls that we have with the Evo grid here, and you've also got your ADSR here. We've got our usual kind of controls with the dynamics, variation expression as before. Let me give you a quick blast with using the dynamics here. So you get the idea. Now, just let's take a couple of examples. So we'll go with the long wave. This is the second evolution. Sounds like this. Really fabulous sound. Let's keep looking through. So we're on the multi-waves here. Very inspiring, very beautiful sound. Let's go on to number 4. So Saltasto to Ord. And then the final one within our subtle section, and I'll scroll down so you can see where we're going with this. So we're on number 5, sul tasto to pont. Just wonderful, wonderful evocative sound. So let's go for a randomize within the subtle, and let's see how we can kind of combine these. And obviously each time you roll the dice up here, you get a different combination of pegs. So let's have a listen to see just how this sounds with that first click of the first roll of the dice. So it's just great. I mean, you get with the kind of different, if you find that there's one peg that you know don't quite like, doesn't quite fit with the track that you're doing, it's so easy to just kind of move these guys around and just pick up a different, you can always refer back to the kind of list here of the individual evolutions and just say, oh yeah, actually no, I'm going to go for these, tweak it to your taste, or just literally keep rolling the dice until you get something that you absolutely love. So let's go into the thrills section, and I think it really does kind of bear out listening to these individually. So we'll go into evolution number 6, and this is our tasto trem thrill. And then if we go for our second one, we're looking at number 7, and this is our tasto trem vari-speed. So check this one out. So some really great stuff. Actually kind of worth, let's just pause here and check out some of the different mics. So have a listen to the, so you're listening to the mix just then. Let's listen to the close mics on their own. They sound like this. So great to get that kind of immediacy. Let's check out our slightly more distant valve sound. So you can hear you're getting a little bit more of that kind of air and the feel of the room. And then if we go for our ribbon sound, just taking the top, just a really lovely softening of the top of the sound, but also getting, again, even more of the ambience in there. So check this out. So really great. You can obviously, as usual, kind of mix and match within the these 3 mics to get the exact mix that you want, or you can just go for, the kind of standard default mix here. So let's move on. We're on evolution 8 now. So this is our medium to fast trem. And then number 9, the final one of this section, our thrills section. This is hectic octave trills. Lovely sound there. Let's scroll down here as we move on to the next section. So this is our episodic section. So here we go. We're looking at the vibrato episodic. So we're on evolution number 10. Just fabulous, really, really lovely, and these textures are textures that Olafur has. It's kind of expanded on some of the textures that he designed for his work on Broadchurch. So this Evolutions library collaboration that we've made with Olafur is a kind of natural consequence of the expansion of those fabulous textures. So if we move on to number 11. Number 11 is our Solpont episodic. Check this one out. Lovely stuff. Let's move on. Our next one is the final one of the episodic section. It's number 12. It's our trem episodic. Beautiful, lovely stuff. So, let's come back to the randomize in a minute. Let's keep listening through. So we're on number 13 now. This is the first of our 4 dissonants. This is the slow pitch bend. Fabulous stuff. We've got our pitching episodic, number 14. That sounds like this. Again, fabulous, just dissonant enough. We've got number 15, wow effect. So you get the idea of that one. And then the final one, Pont octave harmonics. So fabulous stuff. So let's roll the dice a few times. Let's get a couple of thrills up. And then let's go for our episodic. Mix those ones up. And then finally, let's go randomize our dissonance. So you can hear there, you've got a ton of really, really usable and inspirational stuff. Let's just roll a couple of times. Okay. So what have we got here? Well, we can see at the top end of the keyboard, we've got a kind of little cluster of dissonant stuff here. We've got a few of our thrills here, and then that's the kind of bulk of stuff. So I wonder what that sounds like. Let's have a listen. So it's really great fun. And as usual, we've got all of the keys are kind of coloured in for you down here. So you can easily see as you're playing, just keep an eye on the interface here. You can easily see where the different kind of styles of evolution are happening. So that is a look through the kind of the Evo grid section. We've got the curated presets. So if I just load a few of those to show you. Vibrato Episodic. Sounds like this. So that's a lovely one. We've got ebb and flow. Really nice. And then let's go for iced trems. Sounds like this. So you get the idea, some really useful presets to just literally leap straight in there. And then if we go into the individual evolutions, so let's look at our, so that you've got the individual instruments. So if I go for our violin 1 Saltasto, and these are presented in the BML code base. Obviously there's no grid for these ones, they're just the individual ones. So it's kind of useful to have some of this stuff. So you've got the usual kind of BML controls here. You've got a control for the reverb here, and this is a modelled reverb. It's a model of a really fabulous vintage plate, and it's the same model that's actually in the Evo grid. So so a very lovely sound, very good character for these particular strings. So just have a quick listen to this. So you can hear there that we can get really, really dry sound. It's a very, very delicate sound, this one. Very, very dry, or we can really, get that vintage sound all the way in there. If we look at the Ensemble, you've got the full range of the keyboard. And again, it's just an achingly beautiful sound. We can look at, let's just grab something else at random. So we'll look at a cello. And let's get a mix up here. So put a little bit of those in. Let's leave the reverb set as it is and have a check of this one. And it's actually quite interesting to check this out. If I put the reverb right down, we'll turn this right up. Just listen to this on its own. And then we can add in maybe the stereo ribbons. Check this out. So again, you know, these on their own are just fabulous, just as the individual instruments, and dialing right into the individual actual evolution, and then having it across the range of the instrument on the keyboard. And there with a lovely bit of that vintage plate reverb on. So some great stuff in there. Lots and lots of tweakability. Now, if we go into the warped section, let's look at one more thing. Sorry. Go back into the main mics, individual instruments. So if we jump back into the cello here, now we're back to the grid, but you'll see that all you have here is literally all of those cello evolutions on their own. And it's just the range of the cello, obviously on the pegboard. So you've got a few blanks here. Let's do a randomization. We'll randomize within the subtle. Beautiful stuff. Let's do a randomize with any, and let's just spin it again. Let's get a good kind of spread. That looks really good. Let's switch up the mics and let's put a little bit more reverb on, and it sounds like this. So really good stuff. You got some superb different kind of textures and colours to use here. So finally, let's look in the warped section, and you'll be familiar with these from previous Evo grids. And we've got two sections here. We've got our ambient stretch sound, and again we'll just kind of let's randomize with any, and it sounds like this. Some lovely stuff in there. Let's go for the triple X, super ambient. Let's randomize again. Check this out. As you can hear, you've got your fabulous dynamic control, which I haven't even needed to touch so far. But yeah, you can really shape the sound. So you've so much tweakability in here. You've got beautiful designed original recorded sounds. You've got your kind of warped versions. You've got your different mics. You've got dynamic control, and you can literally craft the what I tend to do, what I love doing with the Evo grid is that I will write a cue, I'll get something together, and then I'll just sit playing around with the pegs and just see what happens if I change just one. It's really fabulous to be able to get one note that you want to add a bit of extra significance to, and you just dial into where that is. You pick up where it is on the grid. Maybe it's, you know, this B3 or the C4 next to it, and then you can just go, oh yeah, no, that one sounds great, or maybe I'll go that one. Just play it again, check it out, and you can just design. It's almost like reorchestrating each time you change one of those pegs there. So very excited to hear what you guys come up with this. I think it's an incredible tool full of character, and we've hugely enjoyed working with Olafur on putting this together, and the incredible musicians Victor and Sebastian. It's been really, really enjoyable. A kind of globe-trotting enterprise which has involved visits to Iceland, to Berlin, in fact to Finland as well. So this has kind of taken us all over the place, and very, very enjoyable putting this library together. So we hope you have enjoyed watching about this new Evo Grid, and we look forward to seeing you on the next one. Thank you very much for watching. Bye bye.